Hey Kansas City, welcome to the fundraising live stream. We're so excited that you decided to spend your lunch hour with us. I'm here with Brian Frazier, sporting the new and improved Legacy jersey. Guys, that thing just makes you run faster. I mean, come on, look at it. We're coming from the office here in Chicago today, and we have these epic banners behind us to inspire us to assemble in our orange on October 15th in Kansas City, guys. This is going to be an epic race. We have a huge team, and make sure to get your tickets to the team dinner. It's going to be on Thursday, October 13th, right next to the packet pickup. You guys won't want to miss it. We're going to carb load together. It's going to be great. You can get your early bird rate tickets. There's a link in the email that you got from me on Monday morning, so check that out. Guys, so far Casey has raised over $131,000. That is so awesome. We're so excited for you guys. You guys are, plugging along. It's been great, and that means that over 2,600 kids have clean water because of you guys. And we have a big vision in KC to raise $500,000, getting 10,000 kids clean water, and that will happen because each of you are relentlessly pursuing your personal fundraising goals, and you are reaching them, you're beating them, you're bumping them, exceeding yourself, and it's just been so great to watch. So Brian's here to give us some tips on how we can be better fundraisers, and how we can do that more confidently with passion. He's creative, he's hilarious. Guys, Brian's the best, so we're lucky to have him here today with us. So Brian.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of your Team World Vision history, where this all started for you. Tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. I've worked for World Vision for many years. I was working in a different program, microfinance, but had heard about Team World Vision, had a buddy who was in it and invited me out to a race. And I had actually enjoyed running up until that point, but was just super scared of fundraising. Didn't know how to do it, didn't know what I was doing. But in doing that first race, really kind of jumped in. This was the Hood to Coast relay race back in 2013. And so it's been about 3 years since I first got involved, and just loved it, loved the culture, and couldn't get enough of it.
That's so cool. That's awesome. We have some pretty intense Team World Vision fans and runners in Kansas City, so they get the culture of it. It's been fun to watch the orange come out on the streets. And Brian just got back from Hood to Coast, guys, who ran this 199-mile relay in Oregon, and back to where it all started, huh?
That's right. It was a blast this weekend. I know Corey was there with us this weekend too, and just a blast to be able to get to hang out with all these people from all over the country who do Hood to Coast, do it together, do it in a big way. And right now we're closing in on $500,000 for fundraising. So it was a fantastic event.
That's awesome. So Kansas City has a huge fundraising goal. We're trying to raise $500,000 for clean water. We're trying to get 10,000 kids clean water. What inspires you to set high fundraising goals?
Originally when I first did Team World Vision, there was a guy that we partnered with named Lopez Limon who inspired me. His story, which you can read, his book, it's called Running for My Life. Amazing, inspiring story, as he was a lost boy from South Sudan who was escaped becoming a child soldier and then living in a refugee camp for most of his child life, to go on to become an Olympic athlete. His story inspired me and made it real for me, but what really continues to make it real for me and inspires me every day was really a recent trip we took to Africa this summer. I went to Rwanda, where I got to meet my sponsored child. I got to meet a lot of kids, and the thing that really impacted me was the fact that these kids don't get to be kids anymore. They're spending hours a day. Mostly it's the girl children who are going out to get dirty water and spending hours that we're putting them at risk, whether it's the human trafficking, kidnapping. Then they come back, they don't have time to go to school, they don't have time to play, they don't have time to be kids. And it's that, I have 4 children, and it's that reality of knowing that these kids can't be kids unless we intervene and come in and provide them with clean water in their communities, that they can get to actually be children.
So Brian's seen this with his own eyes, guys. And Brian, can you tell us the difference between a community that has been given clean water via World Vision's work and versus a community who's still in that cycle of walking miles for contaminated water that's making them sick?
Yeah, I think one of the things that just shocked me, and again, this is coming from somebody who's worked for World Vision for 6 years, over 6 years now, is that the communities that we went to visit that have clean water, not only did they teach us how they're managing these programs together, they actually sung them to us. And as they were coming out and singing the songs and celebrating, and these children were coming and singing how to conduct proper sanitation and maintain the programs that they have, singing them through songs in local dialect. It was unbelievable, the impact and the life that World Vision was able to facilitate in bringing to these communities. And now you compare that to a community that doesn't have clean water. And what you're seeing is these people are stretched. They're stretched to go out, and so much of their time is being put towards getting water, and this water is dirty. So we're talking about consistent issues around dysentery, around cholera that are impacting the families. The parents are not able to be out working and produce for families like they should be. The kids are always sick, so they're not in school. We're talking about significant impact of not having access to clean water. And how can you overcome these things if you're having to constantly take one step forward and then 2 steps back?
So Brian, how have you fundraised? What gets you excited about your fundraising ideas? Give us some tips or tricks about how you've been such a huge fundraiser and made such a great impact.
Yeah, sure. I think one of the things that people don't realize, and that I tell people all the time, is it's easy to look at somebody else and compare yourself to somebody else, but you can't do that. You have to look at your story and why you're doing this, and you have to come to the realization and the truth that there are people around you that find you to be inspiring. Whether you know it or not, people are watching you. And the fact that you're doing this race right now and taking these steps of faith through fear is inspiring other people who have chosen not to do that. And they want to come and be a part of your journey as you step closer and closer to race day. And by not inviting them to be a part of this, you are robbing them of that joy that they can have to come and be a part. So the way that I've always done this is I've looked at it very similar to the way that a church would a missionary. So if a church was sending off a missionary, the first things that they would do is create this support team around them to come and invite them to be a part of this, to send them off. That's exactly what I've done over the years. I've invited people to come and be a part of my prayer team, whether it's creating a Facebook group or people who don't use Facebook, I'll just email them, keep them updated. But now we're part of a circle to where they know whether or not they donate or not, it doesn't matter. But they're praying for me and they're pushing me on as I get closer and closer to my races. That's the first place that I start, because I need this core inner circle to help me as I go on. And these people want to be engaged and they want to be involved in this and they want to know how things are going. So I start there. So first thing you do is you create a list. You create a list of people that you want to be involved in this group for you, that's going to be your support group as you go on. And the next thing you do is you create your story. You write down your story over why are you doing this. Put the thoughts in your head down on paper into words, and you send it out to these people, whether it's through written letter, which I find to be the most effective and most impactful way to engage them, because as they receive a letter in the mail, snail mail, that's going to sit on their kitchen counter, they're going to be able to fall back on it in case they've forgotten to read it later, like they would maybe an email. And then I'll follow up with emails every couple weeks or every month as I get closer and closer to race day. But I want to keep them updated along in my journey. So I'm invested in this group that's supporting me as I go on, and I'm inviting more and more people into the group. Now, a lot of people may see things going on social media, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Instagram or Twitter, and all of those types of things that even I do. I love to go and tell my story, get people excited about it, and that creates buzz, and that's great. But unless I go back and follow up and invite these people to be a part and ask them to be a part of my team, then chances are they're not going to donate. So all those things to create buzz and those ideas that you can do are great, but these one-to-one personal asks have to happen. Whether it's just texting somebody, whether it's giving them a call, whether it's seeing them in person or it's sending them an email, you have to ask in order to expect people to donate. So these are the very kind of simple ways that I have always been put my fundraising together, but it's that list of people and having a very organized approach that has always worked for me. But it's about engaging people to come and be a part of this journey with me that's been so effective.
That's awesome. So Brian invites people to be part of that inner circle, guys. That support is so important. We need people praying for you, for your training, for your fundraising. I mean, that group is just going to give you so much energy. And my friend Sinead said to me last week, she said, if I'm that person who's always talking about helping kids, if I'm that person who's always posting on Facebook about donating, I want to be that person. So guys, get out there, be that person. Don't worry about inviting people in, because Brian just said it so great. I mean, people want to experience that joy with you. If you don't invite them in, you're robbing them of being part of this huge, awesome thing. People are inspired by your story. You are incredible. You are awesome. Invite people in to learn more about it. We're just so excited that Brian's here to tell us a little more. So a lot of us get discouraged, Brian, when we ask a friend to donate and they don't, or we think this big plan was going to work and help us reach our goal and it doesn't. What do you do when you get discouraged in your fundraising?
Absolutely, and discouragement is going to come to everyone. You know, even in just my last event with Hood to Coast, you know, you get busy with life, you're not able to keep up, or some things happen, you get distracted, and I got to a point where I looked at, you know, how I had been doing with the fundraising, and it hadn't been the same level that I had been in previous years, and I was discouraged for sure. And you know what God reminded me of is that He's always got my back. I went and took it to prayer, took a deep breath, and just simply prayed again over the names of the people in my team. Prayed, asking God to bring more people, invite more people to give me opportunities to interact with, and I left it up to Him. In the end, these are heart issues. I knew my heart was had a passion for kids and serving these kids, and I was willing to do whatever it took, whatever God called me to serve and to invite people to be a part, and that was enough. And God gave me that confidence that was enough. And to just continue trudging along and pushing towards that goal, and He would provide, it. And in the end, you know, literally in the last 2 weeks, God was able to raise over $12,000 through these ideas, you know, through my heart to continue to press towards Him, rather than trying to come up with any new ideas or new special tricks.
That's so right. Guys, Brian said you are enough. Your fundraising goal, where you want to be for these kids, you are everything that they need. You have the power to make this happen. We know that you have the strength, and you just have to give it up to God and give it up to His will, that you are the perfect person. You have been divinely chosen to be on this path, whether it be the running path you chose this morning or the fundraising plan that you chose this afternoon after watching this video. You are divinely chosen for this, and there's a real kid on the other side of the world waiting for you to send that Facebook message, send that text, send that email, and pick up the phone, write that snail mail letter. There's a real face, a real shining face on the other side of the world waiting for you to do that, and waiting for your friends and family to say yes to that invitation, which they will when you step out in faith to do so. I just wrote a heartfelt message that I sent to about 100 people on Facebook via personal message, and guys, 5 people donated from that. Facebook shut me off from sending any more messages online. I had sent too many, but what came from those 100 messages so far, just in 2 days, was 5 donations. So put yourself out there, because the 100 people that you get to talk to about this, they all heard you, and then 5 people already have stepped up. That's great. So just keep at it. And Brian, to close us, will you let us know at your core what inspires you to continue to go farther together with Team World Vision?
Yeah, as I was, you know, thinking as I came back from my trip from Rwanda, I had to, you know, I always came to a point where I was asking myself, with each child that I was able to meet, and I was able to meet their families, as I press on, I ask myself, can I look that child in the eye, or can I look their parents in the eye, and look at these community members in the eyes and say, I gave it my best? Can I walk away and know that when I get to the start line on race day, that I put out my best effort? And so I would just, be thinking about that as you grow closer and closer to race day. Be thinking about what does that look like for you? It's different for each person, but it's those kids that inspire me each and every day. I want to see them play. I want to see them be kids. I want to see them have every opportunity that I had, so that they get to start at the same starting line that we get to. And it's those kids that inspire me.
That's awesome. How can I follow that up, guys? There's nothing more to be said. Brian said it all. Let's give it our best. Let's walk away knowing that we gave it our best. So thank you, Brian, for joining us today. We loved it. Okay, guys, have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of your lunch, and we'll talk soon. Bye.